Hello, what are you reading?
Hi, it's the Holy Quran.
But isn't the Quran only for Muslims?
Not at all. Its teachings are addressed to all humanity, from heads of state to everyday people like us.
What does it teach us?
It's a book of life for life. No thinking person should pass through life without it.
Where can I get a copy?
From the IPCI, 124 Queen Street, Durban.
Gather them together, black and white, Bishop Tutu, everyone, come together and repent for lying on God. Now, I would ask you as a Christian, one who proclaims and professes to have met Jesus, how are you and your people going to develop 2 million jobs for the country? All right. How are you going to stop making the Pope white, Mary white, Jesus white, Moses white when they were not white? When and where are you going to develop a mass education program and not tell the people to wait till they get to heaven? When are you going to tell the man with 47 cars to sell those cars and give that money back to the poor people so that they might have a decent life? When are you going to repent on behalf of the Christians for enslaving the people, the descendants of whom are in this building tonight? When are you going to repent for causing the slaves to be prostitutes? When are you going to repent and ask forgiveness? When are you going to ask the white people to give back at least half of the 87% of the land that they stole in view of the fact that the Bible said, thou shalt not steal? When are you going to persuade your Christian white brothers to not control 95% of every asset in this country? And finally, when are you going to persuade the white people to give to the Tswana tribe all the Kimberly property that was the birthplace of all of the diamonds, and give them an accounting for all the money due to them? When?
I have not studied much, but what I do know, I have met Jesus.
Thank you.
And I know he has changed my life.
So you don't want to answer the question.
That he will change many other
Thank you, sir. Can I have the next question?
All right, brother.
Thank you very much.
Keep the faith. When white people say they're white, they're not referring to the color of their skin. If Margaret Thatcher gets a suntan, I don't know what it would look like, but let's just assume that Margaret Thatcher got a suntan. You wouldn't call her a colored woman, would you? You would still call her a white woman, even though her skin may be brown. What do you mean when you say white? You mean that she is from Europe. So whether she's Italian, white, Sweden, white, England, white, France, white. White means coming from Europe. Black means coming from Africa. So whether we're fair-skinned, brown-skinned, dark-skinned, East Coast, West Coast, North, South, if we're from the black continent and we've been here 300 years, we are black people from the black continent. All over the world, 1 billion people uniting through Ramadan. That's why I'm hopeful and optimistic that by the year 2050, when 1 out of every 2 persons would have been born a Muslim, we would have the first real meaningful opportunity for a permanent world peace. Assalamu alaikum. This country could explode. Who will be the first targets? The businessmen, the lawyers, those who didn't want the masses in their office. They will come without your permission. So if Hitler killed 6 million Jews who were European Jews, and Hitler was a European, give the Jews part of Germany, not of Palestine. Sure, he works, so do I. Raising the kids is not easy. Cooking and washing and taking them to school, this is not easy. He doesn't seem to understand I work too. What I'm trying to find out, and you may know better than I do, tell me specifically, if I got this, everyone in this room, and we went out to the homeland and we started teaching people how to read who did not know how to read, what would the government do? What I'm saying to you in closing is that there is a great opportunity to really be a new South Africa and a new African. Forget the begging. There will be no gifts. I don't care what the World Bank tells you and International Monetary Fund tells you. It's crumbs.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله قال الله تعالى إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأصحابه وبارك وسلم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure now to call upon our Qari, the young man, Rashid Brown, who still fills a desk in school. He's a matriculant writing his examination. We wish him well, but we ask him to start the evening with a recital of a portion from the glorious Quran. Rashid Brown.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد صدق الله رسوله الرؤيا بالحق لتدخلن المسجد الحرام لتدخلن المسجد الحرام إن شاء الله آمنين محلقين رؤوسكم ومقصرين لا تخافون فعلم ما لم تعلموا فجعل من دون ذلك فتحا قريبا والذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا لقد صدق الله رسوله الرؤيا بالحق لتدخلن المسجد الحرام إن شاء الله آمنين محلقين رؤوسكم ومقصرين لا تخافون فعلم ما لم تعلموا فجعل من دون ذلك فتحا قريبا هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا محمد رسول الله محمد رسول الله محمد رسول الله والذين معه أشداء على الكفار رحماء بينهم تراهم ركعا سجدا تراهم ركعا سجدا يبتغون فضلا من الله ورضوانا تراهم ركعا سجدا يبتغون فضلا من الله ورضوانا سيماهم في وجوههم من أثر السجود ذلك مثلهم في التوراة ومثلهم في الإنجيل كزرع أخرج شطأه فآزره فاستغلظ فاستوى على سوقه فاستوى على سوقه يعجب الزراع ليغيظ بهم الكفار وعد الله الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات منهم مغفرة وأجرا عظيما وعد الله الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات منهم مغفرة وأجرا عظيما صدق الله العظيم
ما شاء الله صدق الله مولانا العظيم. Shukran jazilan. Our brother Rashid Brown, may Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you to see many, many more years spent in this tariqah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to take time off, particularly tonight, which is first of all the last public appearance of our guest speaker, other than a short talk tomorrow, which will be in closed confines of the Gatesville Masjid during the waqt of Jumu'ah. But I'm also taking this opportunity because, unfortunately for tonight, Brother Ahmadidat walked into a trap and he said, I would like to view it from that side. So he's not next to me to pull me to say, stop it. For the past 3 nights and this evening, I'm blessed with having been in very good company. I found myself every evening, through the grace of Allah, in the company of this very talented and, to my best knowledge, very sincere Qari, Rashid Brown. I also found myself in the company of one which is well known to us, Salih Muhammad of Rosmead Supermarket. Salih, for many years, has been spearheading, hosting Ahmadidat and doing the work which Ahmad is doing in Durban from the literary side. May the Almighty Allah bless you, Salih, with as much vigor and viscosity as you displayed over the past years to carry on the task, inshallah. But then, this is my moment of joy where I can speak and say that we, and if I say we, I speak not only on behalf of the Muslims of Cape Town and on behalf of the Christians of Cape Town, but I speak on behalf of the Ummah of the entire world, and I also speak on behalf of the Christians of the entire world. For we are indeed fortunate to have with us a man like Ahmad Deedat. Controversial? Yes. Sometimes he comes across a bit harsh? Yes. But you know, many of us at one stage went crazy to go and see the video Adapt or Die by Pieter Dirkie Uys. Ahmad Deedat has given us one of his many video cassettes, Da'wah or Die. If we are not going to carry the message to those who don't know the message, then we will be swallowed by them, as our predecessors in certain countries were swallowed up in the cultures of people foreign to Islam. It is all right to criticize. It is all right to be an armchair critic and do nothing but criticize up front. Now, we have been particularly fortunate because at no other time and of no other person do I know who has carried the da'wah right to our doorstep. We are being spoon-fed. We don't have to go and do any investigation almost. It is all there and it is all on the video cassettes. What is on there? To tell us and to show us how very easy it is to stop this weekly, this daily onslaught onto Islam, where our deen is trying to be twisted and people want to put total untruths into our minds. We have now been given the counters. It is strange but true that people spend thousands and millions of rands to send their children to universities to seek the truth. And yet they base their entire life on untruth or on a lie. These two booklets that I have here are but two of the many booklets that through the I.P.C. Brother Ahmad Deedat has made available for us free of charge. This one, the top 100 in the world, and this, Muhammad, the natural successor to Christ. There are others, you can see the names. What is his name? 50,000 errors in the Bible. Christ in Islam. What was the sign of Jonah? One minute to say that I also am visited from time to time by people who want to sell me booklets at 40 cents and 60 cents. I said, I'll buy 3 from you, and you can speak to me if you wish, but there's a condition attached to it. That if I buy from you and listen to your 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then I'll give you 4 of these booklets free. But you must read it. And then you must listen to my story for 5 minutes. Then suddenly the sale of the booklet becomes unimportant. Without having to be rude or disrespectful, just a fair exchange. I don't think I can do justice to it the way Brother Deedat describes this encyclopedia, this volume, this wonderful book. With so many pages, at 5 rands in this day and age. And I heard Brother Ahmad say outside, buy 5, I've got one at home. Buy, give it to your brother, give it to your neighbor, give it to your Christian friend, give it to your Hindu friend, give it to your Muslim friend, give it when there's a wedding, give it when there's a birthday, spread it. Because after all, we are doing the work of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, where he said, on his farewell sermon, when he said, those of you who are here must please take my message to those who are not here. And the Sahaba took it so seriously, I think about 3/4 of them who were there died outside the borders of Makkah and Medina, because they went to take the message. Here we get the message free, we're too scared to go and give it to our neighbor, and we don't want to make da'wah. Brothers, we are fortunate indeed to have with us tonight also Brother Ahmadi, that in the audience for a change. And I wish to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has sent unto us somebody like Ahmadi. May Allah spare him to see many more years and many more years of fruitful work in this. And I would like to remind our brothers that he got started about 40 years ago simply because people came to him, as he said, as a punching bag to practice their doctrine on him, trying to twist his mind and his deen, and he was totally unprepared. He didn't fight with him. He said, okay, I am going to prepare myself, which is exactly what he has done. May Allah bless you, inshallah, Brother Ahmadi. He has also brought to our shores many, many foreign guests of extreme eminence. And no different is our guest tonight. Dr. Khalid Al-Mansour. I like to say, first of all, that he's black and he's proud of it. He comes from California in the United States of America. He is a lawyer. He's a banker. He's a businessman. He's a doctor of economics. He holds a BA degree and a string of others. But the one that he likes to associate himself with most is that he is a Muslim activist who has made similar inroads into the vast realms of knowledge, and he does da'wah work. With anybody, to anybody, he's proud to have been born a Muslim, and he wants to do his share of carrying the da'wah which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam strove so dearly for us. He has been speaking since Monday afternoon at the University of Cape Town, Tuesday evening in the Sea Point Civic Center, Monday evening. On Tuesday evening it was in the Athlone Civic Center, last night in the Good Hope Center, and tonight with his presence he has blessed Westridge Civic Center. The topic for tonight is Africa, the sleeping giant. Before I introduce him to you, I would just like to remind you of our format. We've had the Qari. You had to suffer listening to me. We will now hear Dr. Khalid, and thereafter we will have question time. And when we close with a supplication, a dua by our Qari. And I do know that we can never satisfy everybody. People come here with their own expectations. This is what we said it is, a lecture. And I can tell you there are many people who give the best of lectures, but they are not prepared to face question time. We give that, and they said, all questions answered. We do not wish to entertain you by a boxing match here. It is not the idea of it. This is not a debate. We cannot have arguments from that side to this side. It wasn't intended to floor any particular person, either him or the speaker from that side. Anybody who wants a debate must please set up one. And if they are not capable of doing it, find somebody who is capable. Then that will be a debate. But please come and put your question to what is being said tonight. So listen carefully. Don't practice your question which you already brought with from home. Listen to the topic and question him on the ramifications of what he's going to say. Without further ado now, it is my extreme privilege to hand you to Dr. Khalid Al-Mansour.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters and ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure for me to be here this evening. I feel a bit remorseful as I look out over this beautiful audience, and I am forced to recognize that inshallah tomorrow I am scheduled to depart. It will produce a rather sustained period of sadness, and I will have difficulty trying to recapture the feelings that I have had during these last few days. You have been wonderful. You have been very supportive, and I have had the exquisite opportunity to feel your prayers and to feel your solidarity. I would like to thank you very much and to thank Allah for you. And I would like you to carry my feelings of appreciation to all of those who are not here tonight, but you will be meeting in the course of the coming days. Tell them the brother that came from the United States will never forget the solidarity and brotherhood that I experienced here. Tonight, I am prepared to address the topic, Africa, the sleeping giant. I think it is an important topic, and I think it is an important topic for all of us to recognize. I want to kind of approach this topic as a family reunion, because as I look out over the audience, I am persuaded that 70 to 80+% of everyone in the audience is a Muslim. So I want to kind of gather us together like a family and talk Muslim talk, family hour. I would like to try to say things that we do not always say in front of strangers. Sometimes if you have family problems, you want to get the family together and close the doors. And you tell the neighbors, we love you very much, but this is a family affair. Sometimes when your children have misbehaved, or mothers and fathers have had a misunderstanding, sometimes they even take the children and ask them to go out and play. And mother and father sit down at the table looking at each other, and they have things to say to one another. They try to say them as nicely and politely as possible, but there is a need for a family to be able to get together. So even though I'm going to be talking about Africa, the sleeping giant, it must be clear to all of us that we constitute Africa. Africa is a collection of people. We are part of the package. So we don't want to think of Africa as some distant land that doesn't relate to us. We don't want to think about Africa as some foreign territory that we will read about from time to time, that we will listen to on the radio from time to time, or we will watch on television from time to time. We, brothers and sisters, are in Africa. That is where we are. No other place. We are in Africa. And your future will rise and fall as the future of Africa rises and falls. You're stuck, in other words. This is it. There's no boats and no planes poised to take you out of this continent. You've been here too long. 300 years. Where are you going? Where are you going? East, west, north, south? It's not like Mr. de Klerk Mr. de Klerk tonight is in Holland, telling the people in Holland, welcome home, boy. He said we have similar language, similar complexion. Look at me. I've just been gone for a few hundred years, but I have kept in touch. The Afrikaner came here in 1652. But they've been back and forth frequently since that time, writing letters to friends, writing letters to relatives, sending their children back to Holland or Germany or France to get an education. Verwoerd, the father of apartheid, wasn't even born here. He's born up there in Holland. They kept in touch, but they made sure that you did not keep in touch. Some of you came from Indonesia, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, some from Mozambique, some from Angola, some from Benin, mixed all together, but you didn't keep in touch. People in Malaysia don't know your name. So if this government were to take you out of District 6 and take you back to Malaysia, where would you go? You look around and say, well, I don't know anything about Malaysia. You've experienced that on the Hajj, haven't you? You've gone to Saudi Arabia and you've seen someone from Malaysia and you were struggling. Said, I can recognize a resemblance, but I don't know what to say. Or someone from Indonesia. Now, the white people didn't let that happen to them. But they made sure that you had no bridges. They wanted you isolated. They didn't want you with a historical perspective because that would give you strength. And they wanted you mentally weak and dependent so that you could be regulated and manipulated. So if your past has been destroyed, erased from your mind, then when the white people tell you, you must learn Afrikaan, you must change your name, you must change your clothes. Don't wear those little silly clothes they used to wear in Indonesia and Pakistan. That's what they tell you. We have a new wardrobe. Now, has your name been changed? They want you isolated from your past. Destroy the past so that you become obedient. Mentally dead. Dead. And that death is a cruel death. They didn't tell you what it would be like. They didn't tell you the repercussions. The reason I know is the same thing happened to us in America. We were taken from here to America. And they told us that you must change your name. And they told us that we didn't have a religion. We were greeting each other, Assalamu alaikum. They said, stop that. That's gibberish. Learn English so that you can understand the orders of your masters. And on those slave ships, you had different color Africans. Some were brown skinned, some were fair skinned, some were dark skinned. And when they got them on the plantation, they took the fairest skinned African and took him to the house. They called him a house nigger. And they said, now look, house nigger, it's like coffer. You are better than the black African. Now, you may have come on the same boat, but you're not the same. Now, what we're going to do is give you our old clothes, and you take care of our babies and our children. And we want you to be clean and neat because you are close to us. But you must change the name. We are not going to have any names like Aisha and Amina, the names that characterized the Africans before they got to America. The purpose of the name change was to destroy the past, to remove the foundation, to make you like a cripple. Anyone knows if you want to brainwash someone, you separate them from their families, from their community, and then you isolate them and you brainwash them. So they took the Africans and they would not let Africans in the same tribe on the same plantation. So they broke up the families. Husbands and wives were broken up. They said, what's that language you spoke? You spoke Arabic and you spoke Arabic? You go to that farm and you go to this farm. Can't stay on the same farm because that will perpetuate the language. You say, but this is my wife. I say, shut up. We're in charge. That's the first lesson you learn. White man is in charge. Whatever he says, go. You do not count. Day after day for 300 years, the same message. You are nothing. Do whatever you're told. You do when you are told, and you do exactly what you are told for 300 years. Now, in the process of that brainwashing, which is crueler than death, it is more merciful and benevolent just to kill a person. But if they killed you, there was no one to do the work. And you were there for work. You weren't there to be put on a pedestal, and you weren't there for educational advancement. You didn't have any scholarships. You weren't there to make money. You weren't there to learn a trade. You weren't there to have babies. You weren't there to fall in love. You were there only to work for the rest of your life. And the rest of your children's life. And the rest of your grandchildren's life. 300 years of hopelessness. That's what happened to us. And when we finally emerged from 300 years of captivity, we were almost like zombies. We could still walk, we could still run, we could still dance, but inside something was dead. The human personality, just like the human body, cannot live without basic nutrition. If you don't eat, after a period of time, you will lose 30% of your body weight. They call that being anemic. If you continue to go without food, you will lose 40% of your body weight, and that's the magic number. You're dead. But the danger is when you lose 30% because your system can no longer protect you. It becomes cannibalistic. Your cells start attacking your other cells. They say, if you're not going to feed us, we are going to commit suicide. That's your body complying with the laws of nature. Your insides, your psychology does the same thing. If it's not fed with a sense of pride and a sense of support and a sense of solidarity, it dies. and you just go through the motions as a zombie. No spirit, no drive, no motivation. Nothing really matters. Looking for escapes. Escapes give you a temporary feeling that you have worth. A temporary feeling. So you become addicted to compliments. People telling you that you look nice. People telling you that you're worth something. You become addicted to alcohol because you want to escape. You want to forget the death that surrounds you. So you say, if it's only for 1 hour, if it's only for 2 hours, I want to leave. I want to get away. I want to be in a state of mind. I want to be in an emotional state where I can feel a sense of joy. I can't take this death. Drugs. The drug addict is trying to give you a message. He said, I just can't take it. There's no hope. It's futile. I can't see where we're going. So he says, give me anything. That condition results from 300 years of constant oppression, surveillance, knowing that you are being watched every day, knowing that the gentleman right by your side is going back to tell the white plantation owner if you ever say anything against the master. You can no longer trust members of your family. You don't know when they will turn on you. That is the life that you internalize. And in order to survive, you become almost paranoid. 300 years plus. Now, out of that 300 years in America, my father had a job. He got married when he was 30. He had 12 children. I was the 11th. He built a home for his family that took him 20 years to build. He operated an elevator in the post office, a freight elevator, not passengers, freight. That means those 100-pound mail sacks. Pulled them into the elevator, pulled them out of the elevator, 8 hours a day, all week long. That was his life. When I went to grade school, the white teacher told me, do not go to a high school, an academic high school, because you're too dumb. You just don't have the intelligence. I believed her. But I didn't like the way she told me I was dumb. Alhamdulillah, I went to high school anyway, an academic high school. And because of the grace of Allah, I graduated #1 in the class. But if I had listened to that white counselor, I could have been tonight in the penitentiary. I could have been tonight on drugs. I could have been tonight an alcoholic. So it's no goodness of my own, but the grace of Allah that said, young man, I'm going to give you an opportunity, but you must develop it yourself. I'm not going to do your homework for you. I'm not going to take the examination for you. But I will give you the opportunity. The rest is up to you. And because of my father's determination and drive, I was able to extract from him a direction and a pride, and I took advantage of the opportunity. But what about the millions of black youth that didn't have a father to provide them with that direction? They gave up. They just simply gave up. They listened to that white person who said, "You don't have it." And because of 300 years of brainwashing, they said, if the white man says I don't have it, they must know what they are talking about. Now, I suspect that you are wondering what my experiences have to do with Africa, the sleeping giant. What I'm suggesting to you is the same way that I woke up. The same God that woke me up and gave me an opportunity can and will do the same for Africa, but he is not going to do the work. He will just open up the opportunity. From high school, I went to college, and I received what in America is called the Phi Beta Kappa key. That's the highest academic award that you can get in America. Less than 1/2 or 1% of all students in America get the Phi Beta Kappa key. I got who's who in American colleges and universities. I got a fellowship to go to India and then Egypt. I met Nehru in India. I met Nasser in Egypt. But I still was trying to find myself. To overcome 300 years is not easy. Having a college degree is not enough. Meeting Nehru is not enough. Meeting Nasser was not enough. I needed something else that had more substance than just human beings. I needed the Creator to be able to talk to directly without any intermediaries. I needed to know that I was following his path and I was trying to realize the talents that he gave me. That led me to law school. And after law school, all around the world, seeking knowledge, knowledge. I wanted to know more and more and more because I recognized that in knowledge there is freedom. Freedom from confinement. Freedom from slavery. Freedom from abuse. I could soar into space on knowledge. It became an addiction. I had to have it. I developed friends on the basis, could they give me information? Did you have something to say? If it were just gossip, I wasn't interested. I wanted knowledge, something to give me some food, mental food. And Allah was saying over and over, seek knowledge, Iqra, read. Search the universe. Doesn't mean a casual flipping through some pages. It doesn't mean reading in a language that I don't understand. So if I'm reading the Quran in Arabic and I don't understand any Arabic at all, what am I learning? Either I go and learn Arabic so I know what I'm reading, or I get an English and an Arabic Quran like they have on the table. If you give me a lecture in Chinese and I don't understand Chinese, I'm sorry, I'm not learning anything. Knowledge, cognition. When Allah showed me that knowledge is within our grasp and it is His will that we have knowledge, we are supposed to be the most intelligent people on this planet, the Muslim. He gave us a perfect religion and He told us to read and search for knowledge and go even to China to get knowledge. We want to know everything. One of the things we want to know is how to anticipate danger. How to anticipate danger. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I would like to repeat, we are in Africa. When you take India, put it next to China, put it next to Western Europe, put it next to the United States, and then put them all together, and then you dump them in Africa, they fit inside Africa. It is an enormous continent with all conceivable complexions, fair, dark, black. That's the continent of Africa, the source of civilization. So if we want to break that brainwashing that we got for 300 years, we got to go back to our roots. You should be aware of the history. You say, well, I'm not sure whether I'm from Indonesia originally, or whether I'm from Malaysia originally, or I'm from Sri Lanka originally, or I'm from Africa originally. Then study the history of all of them. You can't go wrong. We have the blood of everyone. Knowledge. Are we in danger? Ladies and gentlemen, now I don't have to tell you, because we're home. This is family. I'm not trying to impress white people tonight. I'm talking to you, my brothers and sisters. This country, South Africa, has somewhere around 40 million people. And we Muslims are a minority. You know what a minority means? We are a minority. Don't act because we live in little townships and we see each other and we tend to believe because we see each other so frequently we are the majority. We are not the majority. We're a minority. The whites are a minority. They try to act like a majority for over 300 years. They are a minority. They know they are a minority. So they are now beginning to look at the majority and smile a bit. All those years of brutality, kicking people in the face, slapping them down, suppressing them, lying to them, telling them when we got here, we white people didn't find any blacks. So we have just as much right to this land as you niggers do. So don't tell us about freedom. That's what they used to say. Now, Brother de Klerk is saying, well, the process has reached a level of political irreversibility. We are not going to return to the past. We recognize now that South Africa is for everyone. And we're hoping that Mr. Mandela, who has been the guest of the government for some 27 years, can forget those unpleasant experiences. Put those things behind him and show that he is a man of genuine humanitarian proclivities, and join hands as we march forward to reach the goals of brotherhood and peace and political equity. So he is talking to ANC, he is talking to black people anywhere he can find them, P.A.C. He's saying the National Party is ready to open up its doors to everyone. But he's telling you, don't you go and talk to the Africans. They don't like you. You're not pure anymore. You used to be African, but now you're not pure. The Africans will kill you. Don't go out there. And what we're going to do is to put you between us and the Africans, so if they attack you, give us a call. If they get mad, they got to get you first. White people haven't changed. It's the same slavery. Same song, second verse. A little bit louder and a little bit worse. But we are still victims of the brainwashing. So when the white people say, don't go near those coffers out there, we say, yes, sir, that's right. They are kind of strange. I pass them in the street sometimes. I don't understand them. Ooh, why aren't they just more intelligent? Why don't they, why don't they dress differently? Why don't they change those names? We can't memorize all those names. And why do they talk that language? Or the click sign? That's like children. Why don't they stop that? Now, white people are trying to learn how to do it. They're telling you, don't you try. Oh, it's so hard. We don't realize that when white people see the signs of the time, they get practical. You remember Mr. Ronald Reagan